Hello and welcome back to the Littlest Sewing Room. What are we doing today? Well, we're getting rid of this. So why has this light got to go? Well, it lives up to its name. This light, believe it or not, is marked Boshite. And it is the most useless sewing machine light I have ever come across in my entire life. Right now, this is switched on. Believe it or not, this is on. Let me turn it towards you so you can see. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that little dull glow there, but that's switched on. So even when I've got it down low like this, it's not putting any light on the project. It is so dull, it's absolutely pathetic. And also the position of it. I don't know who in their right mind thought sticking the light directly in the centre line of the neck of the sewing machine was a good idea. Someone obviously did. But it gets in the way of projects, particularly if you're sewing something big. You know, I might be quilting something, or I might be stitching an awkward leg seam or something, you know, stitching a big piece of fabric together, and this thing's in the way. So it's just got to go. So the one thing you'll see with this light is it's actually wired in. And this wire here goes round and it goes into the switch that switches the sewing machine on. So I am going to have to unwire it from the main switch, remove all these cables, and then obviously pull it through and remove it from the desk. So as always with these things, we need a few tools to do, obviously, the job. So today I'm going to be using this screwdriver set. I'm not sure what heads I need yet. Probably mainly the cross heads on this. So yeah, I would say a Phillips screwdriver set. And I've also got a pair of wire cutters in case I need to cut the wire in order to be able to get the light out of the desk. But the first thing I'm going to do, the most important thing, is switch off and disconnect the electrics. So now that's safe, I know when I do this job, I'm not going to accidentally electrocute myself. So as you can see here, this is the cable to the light. It comes down and then it goes up through the bottom of the main switch housing for the sewing machine. So obviously the first thing I need to do is to remove this cover. Now there's a screw at the top and a screw at the bottom that I need to get out, and then this should all just come off and I'll be able to see inside here and see how these wires are connected. So just bear with me while I get this cover off. So now we can see inside the switch. Okay, so this is obviously your switches for on and off. This is the wire to the light. Okay, so this small black wire here has been linked into this junction on here, and then you've got this brown wire that's double joined, I don't know why, that goes into here. So what I need to do is I need to loosen the wires out of these two junctions here in order to be able to remove this, and then I can unthread this white wire, get my words out, and then just take the lamp off the table. So I'm going to do the little black wire first. So I need to try and get in there with a screwdriver. This one's not going to fit. So now I've got another screwdriver that will fit. These screws on this particular switch takes both flathead or a Phillips screwdriver. So I've, there we are, one can see them. I've dug my trusty brown single screwdriver out of my box. This has probably been featured in just about every single video I've got. This is the most brilliant screwdriver in the world. But anyway, now I'm going to undo this screw here and look at getting this wire unclipped out of here, hopefully without disconnecting anything else. It's quite tightly done. There we go. It's starting to move. There we go. There we go. That's just popped out. I'm going to push these two wires back down so I know they're nice and secure, and tighten that one back up. And then I'm going to do the same for this brown wire over here and disconnect that. I will say, don't do this job if you're at all nervous around electrical things. If you want to, you can get someone with electrical experience in to do it, or get your sewing machine engineer in to do it. I don't have those facilities to me, so I've just learned to do stuff myself over the years. If I see something and I'm not sure of it, then I will leave it alone. But in this case, I know what I'm doing. So now that's all disconnected, you zoom you out, I'm just going to give this wire a snick here with the wire clippers. So then I can take this piece out of here, because it's been wired in a very interesting manner. There we go. I can pull that through, and I've just got to pull this wire through to the back of the sewing machine table and then remove the wire and the light off the back of the table. But before I do that, I'm going to put my cover back on the front here. When putting your cover back on, make sure you put it back on the right way round. All switches can be slightly different, so obviously remember which way round you had this when you took it off, and then this should screw easily back into place, and then we can start looking at removing the actual light from the table. So in order to finish this job, all I've got to do now is pull this cable through like so. It's a bit wrapped round in places. There we are, and remove these 4 screws. So that's it, all the screws are out. I can now just pull this through, and this is going straight to the bin. And that is how you remove a wired-in light on your sewing machine. Yeah, there's a couple of marks on the table. I might put a little bit of filler in that and just sand it down to smooth it off, because it is a little bit raised, a bit spiky here, and I don't want fabric catching on it. I may be covering this tabletop soon anyway, because grey Formica is not really me, as many of you know. But for now, I'm going to just smooth these down a bit, put some filler in them, just so that when I'm sewing, whatever fabrics I'm using aren't going to catch. And then from now on, I'm going to be using my little blue plug-in light. I have tested the motor on the sewing machine. Everything's running, everything's perfect. There's no loose wires. That is amazing. But yeah, bye-bye Boshite. Hopefully I will not be seeing you anytime soon. And that, my friends, is how we remove a wired-in sewing machine light. Obviously, if you're not comfortable around electrics and you're not sure what you're doing, please don't try and attempt this. Get somebody in who knows what they're doing, who knows about electrics. If you happen to have a sewing machine mechanic in your area, that's brilliant. You can always give them a call. I don't know how much it would cost you, to be fair. I don't have a mechanic in my area, or at least not one that will come to a domestic environment. So I've taught myself how to do pretty much everything with my sewing machines. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, from now on, I'm going to be using my trusty little blue light that originally came with my phallic, because, ta-da, you know, that's an LED light as well, and look how much brighter it is. But yeah, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Subscribe. 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 Subscribe.